Alright, what's up everybody? Shinwar back here with Geek is in. And I brought some friends with me. We got Alexlexus, New Gaming Order. What's up, sir?
What you want?
Let's see, he's being a little disgruntled right now.
I got pulled into this mess. Yo, shout out to everybody checking out this stream. If you are a New Gaming Order fan, you can also see this being hosted on New Gaming Order's Twitch channel. So we're all helping each other. So Leroy Jenkins, aka the Juggernaut, is here in the building. Let's go.
And I know you hear somebody's burping in the background. You know that's your favorite. Noop. What's up, brother? What's going on?
You mean Birdie Jr.?
Yeah.
Noop with Thrasher Gaming, checking in, playing MVC2 right now, getting some classic on. It looks really good.
Yes, sir. So today, everybody's been hearing things about rumors, about he said, she said. People want certain things in the game of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And today we're going to talk about the Infinity Gems, the Infinity Stones now, which is known in the movies. And we're going to talk about some other things. Everybody's discussing button layout, 6 buttons, 4 buttons, and we're going to go over a few things. So let's get right into it. As you guys see the video here, you see Ryu use the Power Stone, and it looks like once he uses the Power Stone, if he's up close, it does a wall bounce. So upon activation, and this is just in the trailer for Ryu, we don't know if it's going to be for everybody, or if it's going to be, you know, other stones that do that. But in the video here, you can clearly see that Ryu pops the Power Stone, and Captain Marvel goes flying into the wall for a wall bounce, and then he goes into an OTG with the light kick. So as we all remember the old versus games, you can you can actually do an OTG with a light kick, as opposed to Ultimate MVC3 where they had certain buttons and assists that would perform the OTG or off the ground attack. So Alex, let's start off with the Infinity Stone, and this is just based off the trailer. What do you think, man?
Well, it looks like a mechanic that was a fun thing from Marvel superheroes will be returning, but in an X Factor style format. Now, apparently, what's supposed to happen with the gems, you're gonna pre-select your gem, and that will be like your comeback mechanic. So, like Shinwar was saying, you're gonna, I guess, depending on the characters that are wielding the power of the gems, or the stones, or however you want to dub them as, you'll see that they'll have different attributes. Like, I think in the trailers, they were embellishing that Ryu, if he uses the power gem, or power stone, hint hint, but you know, he just does his real kick,
shoot,
and gets bounced off the wall and getting some crazy combo setups. Then, you know, with the OTGs, you guys know I hate OTGs, but it looks like, you know, Ryu has 2 ways to do them in that trailer with light kick and whatever is supposed to be a launcher. I don't know if the launcher is going to be a button or if it's going to return to MVC2 style or the original, but it looked like Ryu was still able to hit Captain Marvel off the ground and throw and set up for the vertical Hadouken beam. So, I mean, it remains to be seen, but I think that with the way that Ryu was utilizing that power gem, if all other characters have that particular ability, man, in the hands of the right setup, imagine if Juggernaut was in the game, you know, wishful thinking. You know, Juggernaut punch, smack you into the wall, bounce, and then hit you with another setup, you're like, oh my god, I get blown up. So I'm for it, but I'm also fearing it because, you know, you're going to have these guys like Daigo, Takedo, Wong, you know, evil geniuses and all that, yipes. They're gonna find some crazy stuff with that bounce setup alone, you know, but that's what I got for now.
Okay. Noop, what do you think in regards to the Power Stone and in the video, the gameplay trailer, with Ryu activating the Power Stone?
Played on Dreamcast.
Here's my thing, and it kind of goes back to our conversation earlier. I feel like I'm playing MVC2 now, which is probably my favorite. I liked it because it was just straight up fighting. Yeah, it had cheap stuff in it, but this was before the era of updates. and patches. As far as the stones and stuff like that, I mean, I get it. It's part of, well, it was part of the classic, and then it got removed. But this whole new age way of balancing by adding cheap stuff like ultra mega attacks and desperation attacks, I feel like it falls in the vein of that. You know what I mean? Because it's like they don't even fit into the lore of the story of the characters, like these stones or whatever. But I feel like this, competitively, as far as rank matches, whatever, separate it. Have, you know, stones on or stones off. You know what I'm saying? Then you won't have to worry about it. Then you'll have those people who like to use stones and do your crazy setups. And then you have the people who want to fight straight up. So I feel like they should make it optional.
Now,
can I interject real quick with that?
Go ahead.
The problem that you're going to find is tournament organizers are going to have to, like, they're going to have a nightmare with it. It's like stones on or off. You know what I mean? And I know from New Game & Order having ran tournaments in the past, like that's a headache that they're not going to want to deal with, you know? So even Capcom back with Street Fighter Cross Tekken, like they're like, we're balancing the game around the stones or the gems and what have you. So I would not be surprised if it's something that's forced upon us.
But here's the thing though, I wouldn't want this to be an X Factor type of move. You know, if okay, remember Marvel Superheroes? Yeah. And you had those gems, they were in the game and people would fight for those gems. Mm-hmm. You know, and then once you get the gem, you activate it or whatever, and then the timer goes down and that's it. It wasn't used as a comeback feature. It was just in the game, and that was optional because remember, you can turn the gems off if both players agree to it and do the I think it was down and start or something right before the round begins. So it was optional. X Factor is not optional. It's in the game.
It's a mechanic.
It's a mechanic. So with this, and it looked like Ryu comboed into that too. He comboed into the Power Stone. And X Factor you could too. But I think with this, they're trying to get away from all that. And this is just me wishful thinking that, because I heard somewhere, I forgot what I was watching, but they were like, well, you choose your characters, you choose your stone, which is almost like you would choose your assist character from MVC1. You choose your stone, but you can only use your stone until when one character loses. So then it's and I don't know how true it is. They're basically saying like, well, my second character is out. I have no help, but I have this stone. Then it becomes like an X Factor type of move because that's like your last resort. I wouldn't want that. I want the gem. If I have two characters, I should be able to pop it out whenever I want. You know, but this is all rumors and speculation. None of this stuff is concrete, and we just have to wait and see what Capcom, you know, shows us in the future. But you wanted to add something, Alex?
Yeah, well, I say with all the rumors that were circulating, almost all of them are true. You know, so that's just something to kind of keep in mind, but keep everything with a grain of salt, audience. So that's one thing. But if you're on Event Hubs and you're following the different threads there, you're going to come to find that a lot of information is circulating around, but we'll see. I mean, the game is slated for 2017. I'm almost sure that you're going to see like a beefy build at E3 and more so New York Comic Con. If my fate changes and I'm not deployed, you know New Game & Order is going to be all up on that panel, just like we've done for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when we had the privilege of meeting Seth Killian, Nitsuma-san, and the rest of the crew. You know, so time will tell.
Now, here's the thing with this, and then I'm going to let Nupe go. They said they said 2017 release, so we don't know when, and honestly, I hope it's towards the end of the year next year. Let Capcom take all the time. We already know it's been in development, obviously, for a while. But let them polish it. You know, Marvel wants to have a concrete story mode. You know, and obviously, they said that about Ultimate Marvel 3, and the story mode was no bueno. was not that good. But moving on, Nupe, what are your thoughts about this potentially being like an X Factor comeback? Because if you think about it, all the gyms, they all will have different attributes. So with X Factor, you gain crazy strength, but that was so if you make that right. So speed and strength. If you make that equivalent to, let's just say, the Power Stone is only power. You don't gain speed, obviously. So that's one of the things where I'm thinking, like, how would that be used as a comeback mechanic? I can see power because that's what it is. It's the power gem. It gives you extra power.
But to add to that, though.
No, hold on. Let Nupe go, and then we'll bring it back. I want him to get his turn. Go ahead.
It in the way you're explaining it and the way the stones will work, it depends on your character setup. If I'm picking Hulk, Juggernaut, and Zangief, then I'm going to use those speed stones, and they basically they're there to buff and give these characters extra attributes that they wouldn't normally have, so you can pull off stuff you normally wouldn't be able to pull off. How they implement them is really going to determine their usefulness and how much they either bring the game up or down. Me, I'm a fan of the Killer Instinct style. If I'm cutting your behind, then continue to give me the lead and then reward me for beating you. Like Killer Instinct, if someone beats you round 1, then you're on round 2 health. You still got to take out their round 1 health. I feel like I like that style. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're not good, then you're going to get blown up. Versus the more I get beat up, the more privileges and advantages the game starts to throw on my side to give me ways to come back. And it's kind of like, okay, well then who's really the better player? This gimmicky guy who keeps getting beat up and then beaten with last minute desperations, or the person who's doing all the beating and the punishing and really knows what they're doing? I don't know, man. When they start talking about stones, I guess the way that it was implemented in Street Fighter Cross Tekken is really what scares me.
Well, it won't be like that. It won't be like that. Clearly, it won't be like Cross Tekken. Because trust me, it won't be like that way. But you know what, Noop? You pointed out a great point. Let's just say, and this is hypothetically wishful thinking. Let's say Hulk, Juggernaut, Zangief, right? Mm-hmm. And you said, I believe you said the time gem, right?
I said speed, whatever.
Well, it would be okay. So it'd be the time gem, right? So when you think of time gem, right, you're thinking, okay, automatic speed, right? Because that's how it was in Marvel Superheroes. And based off the trailer, when Captain Marvel activated it, upon activation, she dashed through Ryu's donkey kick and was hitting him with this crazy combo with the same button. So it looks like she was just canceling out her own frames and doing all these attacks. So if I was to pick Hulk, Juggernaut, and Zangief, right, that time gem, and this is what the reps from Capcom said, those gems would act differently for each character.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you see how Juggernaut and Marvel Superheroes becomes metal or stone.
That was with the space gem. Right. That was with space.
So like, you see how I think everything is gonna be character specific. And then, like, something Shinra had mentioned earlier, hopefully I have all my thoughts there, but, let's say you have a power gem person up against a speed or a time gem person. Somebody may be able to overwhelm you with that speed like they do in Guilty Gear. You know what I mean? So, in some ways there can be some benefits and, risk and rewards with doing that. So, it's only time will tell. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, go ahead, Seymour.
No, but who says, and I'm just trying to think out of the box, because I believe in Marvel Superheroes, I believe, what's his name? I want to say Shumagara, and I don't know, I think it was with the time gem. Even though it sped him up, he was able to turn you to stone, but I don't think it was with that gem though. So if
was it reality or something, or
I
can't remember.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, right? So pretty much, it doesn't always mean speed. What if they slow you down? So like I think it was Beautiful Joe in Ultimate, he can slow you down. So like, slow you down, and the guy's just wailing on you, and then you hit a button, it comes like 40 frames later. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking out the box on how they're really gonna use the time gem.
That's interesting. It could either speed you up or do like what was that? JoJo's Adventure or Devil May Cry, where they slow everything down.
Right. So
it depends on perspective. Look at the Flash. Like, everything seems slow around him, but he's the fast one.
Right. And I hate that too. By the way, I hate when they do that.
Well,
Anyway, but go ahead.
Yeah, so now let's see how the other gems are gonna respond.
Yeah. So, and out of that, thank you, because I was actually gonna go into the soul gem. So, based off of Marvel superheroes, we remember the soul gem basically would add vitality to your health bar, which makes sense, right? So, Noop, in this iteration of the Versus series, how do you think, or it's just wishful thinking, what do you think, how would you think the soul gem would be used?
That sounds like health or super combo meter.
Or
no. Super combo was mine, or the mind gem.
Yeah, but he's just wishful thinking on, like, just.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, soul. It would sound like something with either like a health boost or I would think super combo meter. That's just what it sounds like.
Yeah, and it honestly, I try not to compare it to Marvel superheroes, the arcade game, but they had the gems in there, so that's what we know. So it's like, oh, the soul gem, that gives me back health, or the reality gem, I'm able to spew these whole bunch of projectiles. But I'm pretty sure that they're gonna change it up because they changed the colors up. And this is based off the movie. They changed all the colors of the gems, aka stones, which they're now referred to, but they changed the color. So, but let me ask you, Alex, how do you think the soul gem would be, and if you have wishful thinking, what would you like to see in the new MVC game?
I think that the soul gem, it's gonna be kind of hard to break it down out of two types of formats. You can use it as a vitality stealing object, or you can have it build up your own vitality, or whatever gray life, or however that system is gonna work. Have that like return instantly or something, or as long as wishful thinking. I want people to earn that vitality back. For every successful hit that you land with that soul gem activated, then you get some life back. The bigger the attack, the more life you get back. So if you're hitting like a bunch of jabs, it should just be like little bits. Right. So you go medium to strong, or hit supers and things like that. Like it gradually get that back. Because in some cases you found in Marvel superheroes, you have the soul gem and you're still being overwhelmed, and it's like your life was just being chipped away by a Berserker Barrage or a Proton Cannon, and it wasn't really much use. If it's like, I would say do it like the Montgomery GI Bill post 9/11. The more you put in, the more you get out of it. That's okay.
Now, check this out. This thought just came to my mind. What if, one of your characters is knocked out, and you have the soul gem and you activate it, it gives your second character, they come back to life with a half bar of life.
Okay, I think that's a clever idea.
Or that would be
you gotta be careful with that though, because the timeouts, that can present an issue there.
But it wouldn't be used for everybody. So let's say it would be character specific. So let's say I got Ryu and Mega Man, right? And then my Ryu is knocked out, and I'm Mega Man, and I'm like halfway down on my life bar. I activate the soul gem, one time use, boom, my second character revives, and he comes back with, half a bar, and now my team is restored again. I think that's a great idea.
But you have to be careful with that, because if it's character specific on how, like, okay, I can bring certain characters back, but not all of them, or just,
well,
then
no, the character
balance.
No, well, the character that's activating it. So let's say, I don't know, Iron Man use the soul gem to bring back, I don't know, Ryu, or he can say, well, you know what, I'm down on my health, let me bring my own health back. So now he has options.
Or if you activate that gem, whoever's on screen is the one getting the life back.
What is that?
Weather alert.
Oh yeah, they got weather issues down there. It's SC. But what I was saying is,
say that again.
Active. Remember how I was saying, like, whoever is the active fighter that's using the soul gem should be, like, depending on how well they're fighting. So, a good comeback mechanic, high risk, high reward. Let's say Mega Man got knocked out, right? You can bring him back with the soul gem and then tag him in and make him fight for his life back. Every successful hit, and let's say even if they block, give them a little bit of something. You know what I mean? Just force a tense fight type situation. That's what I think can raise the hype factor for the game. And people like Justin Wong, just coming back from the 1 versus 3 setup, that's something that will work for that type of play. You see how hyped that was with that comeback?
Yeah, and you know what's funny? MVC2 had no comeback features. You had to earn that.
Yeah, and that's what I like.
And that's what they need to return to. If they're gonna do the soul gem, do it in a way where it's just like, ooh, man, don't just make it a freebie.
This is my biggest issue with them making it character specific. There have been some game series that have been crippled because of the advantages of certain characters, which makes other characters basically useless and uninteresting. Because it's like, I might like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Venom wasn't the most combo heavy guy, and there's like my favorite characters. I didn't play with as much because I knew that I just could not win with them because of the way the other characters were set up to a certain extent. And I don't want the gems to cripple some of these newer characters in the game because it's like, the advantage of this life gem on this character is so great, I need to use him. Or this soul gem is so good with him, I need to use these two because these two combine, blah, 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 whatever. So that's why I think they have to be very careful when it comes to balancing the whole thing.
And you know what? That's the key word, balance. Because I think about Marvel superheroes. Look how Spider-Man, Wolverine, Psylocke, and Captain America use the power gem. Wolverine would get shadows and be super fast. Spider-Man would get the clone. Psylocke would clone herself into 2 others, and then Captain America, which was so dope, all his moves would get like additional multiple hits on him. So they all used it differently. So I don't know how it's gonna be. I really don't, but just like Noop said, they're gonna have to balance it, and I'm pretty sure it'll be good.
Okay, release. But
nah, I think it's because
it's gonna
now
be broke at release.
Because you know why?
What game series it is?
This is Marvel we're talking about. Like,
I know, but here's the thing though, because if you remember, I don't know, Street Fighter V's release, even Ultimate, they had these play tests all throughout the year. So hopefully, people give feedback and be like, hey, tweak this. And I believe I'm sorry, that's a different game. I'm actually thinking of Street Fighter 5, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so I don't know, I just hope they tweak it in a way where it's fun, but then it's not like, oh man, this guy has this character in this gym, it's cheap. I hope it's not like that.
Balance the game. Like, I was just looking, they showed even sorry, I feel bad for the people who are fans of PlayStation who bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but there's a delay in the Super.
I saw that.
And the PS4 version side by side, and they did like this move with Wolverine, and it connected on 360, but it would not connect on PS4 because of the delay. Yeah. And I'm like, come on, yo, like y'all gotta get together.
That's been a problem with that port of the game. I don't think it's Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Was it like that on PlayStation 3?
What do you mean? Yeah. It was like that. Matter of fact,
it was like that on PS3, and they just ported it to PS4, and it was like that too. Dang.
Matter of fact, if you look at when all 3 characters are on screen at start, there's slowdown, there's frame drops on it, and the 360 one is smooth, 100%.
Yeah.
That's why that was the tournament standard version.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's what it is. I think that Capcom can fix it. You know what I mean? And that's the price Sony had to pay for trying to have the game on their system. It should have been done right.
Yeah.
But whatever.
All right, let's
move
move on.
We need to make it backwards compatible for Xbox One. That's all I'm saying. Even though I'm probably not gonna play.
All right, let's move on to the
I got
to the next stone, the Mind Stone or the Mind Gem.
Headstone.
Now, here's my thing. We know in Marvel superheroes, if you activate the Mind Gem, it would bring back your super meter. It would gradually build it automatically. Now, the thing with Marvel superheroes, the super bars vary between each character. So I believe Iron Man would get like 1 bar, and then like
You sure? I thought it was 3. In
Nope. Everybody had different levels. So like Iron Man, I believe had 1. Juggernaut had 1.
That sounds like Third Strike.
No. They all
heroes?
Yeah, they all had different levels. So some had 2, some had 1. So I'm thinking in this one, like, what could they do? Maybe they can do, do the super meter being built up, which it looks to be they're sticking with the 5 super bar system, which is fine. Okay. But with the mind gem, I'm just trying to think of some other ways. Maybe when you activate the mind gem, it stops the other character from using their special moves for a certain amount of time.
Or do like what happens when you're fighting Thanos, reverse their controls.
Yo, that was the mind gem too. Yep.
Yeah, because that would mess up, like, oh man. And then you had to mentally switch. And one time I actually beat Thanos with Wolverine with the mind gem activated on me. Yeah. I did everything backwards. And I'm like, oh really? Okay. I mean, I played the game that much, so I had everything memorized and just say, okay, reverse this, boom, you're good.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That would be kind of cool. So you activate the mind gem and then it messes up your opponent's control scheme. That's crazy. Or
here's another idea. Let's say you activate the mind gem against your opponent, right? Anytime they use a super, have it drain their vitality. So make them think twice before using the moves. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Wow, that's crazy.
Because think about it. Let's say they have like 5 stocks, right? And they're trying to blow up that person, and they want to start blasting them with supers and all this other stuff. Activate the mind gem is like, Think of it like Yu-Gi-Oh! You put a trap card on them, and they're sitting there like, man, you know what? I could really blow this guy up. And let's say you have like little to no energy, but it gets to the point where you're at that 1 inch of life, but you still got all this meter, you can just go all out. It's like, hey, screw it, balls to the walls there. You know what I mean? Make it exciting again. You know, and I think that would be like an interesting thing. And some who may watch this production might be, Alexlexus, you freaking crazy. But hey, you gotta dare to be great and try something new, because who's to say that the gems won't act completely different as they did in Marvel Superheroes?
Right.
So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, Noop, you got anything to add to that with the mind stone?
Everything y'all just said scares the hell out of me.
I mean, look, I'm just trying to think of innovative ways to make these things work.
They just need to leave them alone. I think they need to leave it alone, man. Like, I would, here's my old way of thinking, I guess. I'm just the type of person that would prefer a classic mode, whether that be online or whatever. I would prefer the option of having a classic mode without all the hibbity-dibbity. I just want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget all these stones and all these power-ups and all these boosts. Because, I mean, to me, it artificially increases the learning curve of the game. Because instead of me sitting down and really learning how to play with the character, I'm really just learning how to use these gimmicks to destroy you rather than really learn the character. So it's like, I've mastered a gimmick rather than mastering the character, and I think that takes away from the game, because I think that's what a lot of people do. I wish I could think off the top of my head some games that do it, but there are some games out there that do that, where they just have like these power-ups or these boosts, and it's like, that's all people do. They master the power-up or the boost rather than mastering the characters in games.
Well, I politely disagree, only because couple things. One, Marvel's trying to push their movie influence into this game. So the movies is all the Infinity Stones, and Thanos is coming and everything. So they're playing a big part in the movie, and Marvel wants it to play a big part in the game. Now, when we saw the stones, I geeked out because I remembered Marvel superheroes, and they weren't overpowered. Alex can tell you this. Me and him battled at Bloomfield Arcade and Marvel Superheroes.
We had wars in that game.
And we learned how to play the game in the stones or whatever, and I don't know how it's gonna be now, but back then it was like, okay, this is new, some extra. And just like you said, Noop, hey, they might have an option where you can turn those off. I don't know. So
The problem with it is you're gonna separate the communities. They're gonna be like tournament brackets for gem mode and non-gem mode. Like I think
be in there. They don't care about
it's gonna
people
be
like
spidered into the very fabric of the game. I'm telling you.
he said they don't care about people like me. Dang. But you know what's funny? I mean, if we're talking gimmicks, you know, Injustice 2.
Well,
If we're talking,
I haven't been following the Injustice news
because they haven't released no news. I mean, when they talked about, then this is just a sidebar. If we're talking gimmicks, and disclaimer, I'm looking forward to Injustice 2. But if we're talking, yeah, but if we're talking gimmicks, you know, I mean, everybody's talking about the whole costume and certain parts of the costume will boost your attributes of characters. Now that's gimmicks.
But then again, that's what the stones are. They're doing the same thing, just with armor, you know.
But the stones though, it's not okay. It's kind of different though because the stones are incorporated in the gameplay. With Injustice 2, it's like okay, I don't know. I beat 20 people and now I get this piece of armor for clothing, which is not only aesthetic but it boosts my attributes. Now I get plus 20 on health. That's a gimmick and that's cheap.
Well, no, actually,
because I don't have that. I don't have that piece of armor though.
Here's the thing. That's more RPG like. Because
right.
You have games like look at Xenoverse and how we were playing yesterday. Like that's no different. You know.
But this
more
is
specific. You know, because they're not bound by 5 stones. They can do whatever they want. They have freedom to do that.
Right, but the thing with NBC Infinite, everybody has access to the gems. Mm-hmm. With Injustice, you have to earn those pieces of individual armaments.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with it. I think that it's just a different way to approach it. They have a different execution for that because again, they're not stuck. Because if you really think about it, Capcom is somewhat restricted because they are limited by what Marvel's vision is. But DC and Injustice 2, NetherRealm Studios has so much freedom to work with. They can do their own thing, So it's mainly up to DC and Marvel to allow or disallow these things. But
hold on, if we're gonna talk gimmicks though, Street Fighter cross Tekken.
Oh, straight gimmicks. And
that was gimmicks. That was gimmicks. Right, I agree.
It didn't need gems, But I think for Injustice, it'll vary up the play a little bit if they do it that way.
But and once again, this is a sidebar, and then we're gonna move on. Back to the topic. I remember when Injustice 2 they released the trailer and then they start talking all the armaments. Everybody was already talking. Well, what about tournament play? Will there be an option to disable all that stuff? Because it's like
they're stepping in cross Tekken territory then.
Yeah, because it's like I'm fighting Noop and Noop has armament for his legs, so he gets like a plus 10 on speed, so his character's fast. So even if he picks a slow character, he's faster than me, and then he's stronger than me, but yet I haven't earned those armaments yet. Now
the problem with that,
pay to play.
It's pay to play. Yeah, pay to win type stuff is never a good thing, and you need for tournament play, everybody has to be on a baseline.
Yeah, right.
You always need that baseline so that he wouldn't have beat me without this and that. There was an argument like I had years ago in CVS 2 over it. It's like, wouldn't beat me without this and that. You know what I mean? And then at tournaments, the EX grooves, although they were cool as hell, and I mean, in the hands of groove, yo. Like you have people who have parry and C groove. And freaking rolls that make the groove unstoppable. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Creative expression and all that, but it's up to the TOs, and it's just gonna change. Like, when they start introducing this stuff, it's gonna make it hard to say who's really the best with the tool sets that have been put in front of you.
Yeah. Now, and I agree with that. Now, for the reality gem, Noop. What would you like to see the properties of the reality gem be? Or in Reality Stone?
I don't even know what I would relate that to. That doesn't even.
Well, I'll give you a quick backdrop. In Marvel Superheroes, it allowed you to pretty much give you projectiles, so you can shoot ice, fireballs, electricity. So for people like the Hulk who didn't have a projectile, you hit the fierce button, yeah, and then you throw out electricity.
That sounds stupid. It does. This is why these gems are giving me a headache. Like, I don't even.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, Alex. Any ideas? What would you like to see in regards to
I'm going outside the box, because when I revisit this on New Game and Order, like, I'm gonna go into depth. But just to give like a preview, I would say with the reality gems, I'm thinking like, how can I say? Things random have to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I would say, like, for instance, okay, if you throw like a super and then like you're in the middle of doing your thing, make that gem, if you activate it on the opponent, like, oh, I didn't tag that person in. Oh, you just lose some sort of control of the reality in the game. You know?
Right.
So
That's cool.
you throw this and it's like it forces you to tag. It forces you to tag or something.
Right.
Or like if you are going for a combo, automatically makes you do a super or something. I don't know. That's far-fetched. But
Yeah.
If you're doing a reality gem for the player that's utilizing it, I would say, you know, give them an attribute or several attributes that they wouldn't ordinarily have. What I mean by this is, let's say Ryu starts acting like Magneto, he can fly around and stuff. You know what I mean? And then, how can I say, let's say Mega Man, like, can do something that he wouldn't ordinarily do, or Hulk, give him a projectile. Like, instead of giving, like, the same mundane stuff that they had in Marvel Superheroes, they can just give a character one specific thing that they wouldn't ordinarily have.
Right.
So that would address the balancing issue that Noop was making mention to before. Like, oh, Hulk doesn't have a projectile with the, you know, reality gem. Yeah, he gets a couple projectile options. Ryu, give him the ability to fly like Storm, Magneto, or Mega Man, give him like souped up armor or something. You know what I mean? Like, just try something a little new, play with it. You know, this way you're going out of that character's reality and turning him into something, him or her into something that wouldn't ordinarily be.
I'm getting found a rank match on King of Fighters 13. What?
So yeah, I mean, I have no ideas for the reality stone. I wouldn't even know how to incorporate, but you know,
they better not take my idea and not give me credit. What?
Yeah,
they do that to us all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that I think Alex, that has to be like a semi game breaking almost, where like you said, Ryu, like, you wouldn't think of Ryu flying, but now with the reality gem, because he altered reality using the stone, he can do that. And that's just, you know, just for an example.
Yeah, just one thing. You know, it doesn't have to be anything like, you know, oh yeah, he can fly, he can do this and that. You know, just give him something. Or going further, take the rogue mentality from X-Men vs. Street Fighter. She'll take somebody's move. You know what I mean? So let's say with that gem, if they come into contact or they grab somebody, you know, they take that one move for their arsenal. You know what I mean? Hey, just try something different. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Bring
all right.
back too. That would have been cool. But X-Men.
Yeah. We'll get into that. And we're gonna move to the last stone, the space stone. Now, there's so many things you can do with the space stone. I mean, when you think of space, you think of gravity, weightiness. You know, I would like to see maybe like it gives you armor, a la like Juggernaut in the old games, or like a double jump. You know, because when you're thinking of space, you're thinking of, you know, looseness. So maybe like a
air
character,
dash,
air dash. Yeah, a character that doesn't typically have an air dash. Now he gets an air dash. He gets a double jump. Characters that may have a double jump get a triple jump. You know.
Or how about teleports, like bending time and space? So things like that, like dashing like Bison in V-Trigger Street Fighter 5 style.
That's dope. Yeah. So now I'm thinking like, okay, what if it's space, and then you use the space gem on somebody, and now they move slow like they're in space. You know, it's the possibilities are endless. Yeah. So what do you think, Alex? What would you want to see the how the space stone would be used?
Like I was saying, some sort of teleport mechanic. Something that, you know, let's say Strider makes it into the game. Those of you familiar with Strider and how he and Hiryu and Hien walk like upside down, you know, something like that. Like have the opponent lose their sense of gravity and like they're flying, you know, up to the top of the stage or something. And, you know, you have to super jump, but like they don't have control. So while they're trying to get themselves together, you can jump in there like and blow them up a little something. That's just one idea. The weight of a character, get them like maybe they're floaty now or something, or make them extra heavy. So if they're trying to jump, it's like short jumps like King of Fighters.
That's nice. Okay.
So I mean, there's just so much you can do with that. Like if they're running, like you can make them run really fast and they can't control it, or like really super slow, like they're in a space vessel or something. There's so much they can do with it.
Yeah. And Noop, any ideas for the space stone that you would like to see?
That's another weirdo. But yeah, basically what y'all said, anything dealing with their movement, and I'm thinking of the word space as in space around the person or space you take up. I guess altering movements and things like that. But again, that would piss me off so bad if I'm fighting someone and they activate a stone and my buttons are reversed. I'd probably quit.
Oh yeah, like for the mind stone or something.
Exactly. I'd be like, wait.
Yeah, but I mean, it will only be temporary. It wouldn't be, you know, for a permanent or indefinite. It wouldn't be like that. It would be only temporary.
And you know what? You know, if you're playing with space and whatnot, like make characters become really giant or really really small.
Oh wow!
You know
like Xenoverse with the Namekians.
Yeah.
What game? I played a game that did that.
Are we playing that tonight?
No.
Yeah, we can play it.
I got my Z Soul. I'm ready to roll. Yo, Alex the Black Beerus Super Saiyan.
You did it, Summer?
You like my outfit last night, right?
What?
You remember my outfit last night? It was tight. Yo,
oh my gosh. I'm done, yo. What the heck? Alright, so yeah, that's it for our theories and speculations for the Infinity Stones for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.